Welcome, creators, to The Disruptors, Illuminate Your Frequency podcast. It's in the disruption of the luminescence that matter is created. The algorithm. What even is that? What does that word even mean? I've used that word so many times when I'm talking about the way that social media reacts to our interaction on different platforms. I've often blamed the algorithm for lack of likes or lack of putting it in front of people across my social media platforms. And we know that there's an algorithm, and depending on who you speak to, there's either a way that it works based on the code or how it's set up on the back end, or is there not even an algorithm? Is it something that we are just blaming because we're not getting the engagement that we want? Is the algorithm something that was originally created in a certain way and it has grown on its own? It has allowed to develop itself in the background in a way that it believes is beneficial for everyone. But what about our own algorithm? What about the way that we interact with people, the way that we act after seeing the way that people or things respond to us? Are we not also subject and victim of being part of our own algorithm? Now, you think about it. I'm someone who dove deep into the online world and immediately, after learning so many new things, decided that I had to share all that information with other people. I moved from the generic Facebook and Instagram onto all social media platforms because I need people to see me. I need to be on these platforms. I need to show people what I have to offer and what I can do for other people. And I need to get myself in front of these people in different ways to allow myself to be seen, to get people to know who I am. So, of course, we embark on this journey of going on all these different social media platforms. And depending on who you are and how you operate, I was someone who had to be on all of them. Although I'll be honest, there are some that I do not like and some that I never really worked out and now I no longer use, but I still probably have a lot more that I focus on in a way that I thought I needed to market, because I believe that we had to be in all these places to keep the algorithm happy. We have to be posting every day. And this is what all the experts are telling us. This is what all the ones with actual success are telling us. You need to be consistent. You need to be posting all the time. And so many other different things that we hear from the people who are actually having results or believing that the certain way that we do things is going to warrant the results that you're looking for. Now, at first I was all in that. It actually became, honestly, it can become a full-time job. When you were starting out in trying to get your name or your business or your offer or the information that you want to share out there, if you were trying to be seen on social media, you know that you have to create some sort of presence. So you have to be seen in some format. And doing just one post a week on Facebook, it's probably not going to cut it if you're trying to grow your audience a lot and you want a lot of people to see what you're doing. So you get into this idea that I'm going to be creating all the social media, and you might bulk load your content. You'll create all these videos and these reels, or you'll write up a whole lot of posts, or you'll write down some ideas of things that you might want to talk about or share with people, stories that you have, experiences that you've been through. And you have all this creative inspiration that you know you're going to use for the social media, and you start creating it, then you realize it's becoming a full-time job, because even like right now, just doing this podcast, this is a recording, there's an editing, there's a posting, there's a sharing. It's not just the simple art of doing the one thing. So even a post, even if you're writing a post, yes, sometimes it can just take a few minutes. Other times you try to formulate the words in such a way that you really want them to make an impact, or you really want to say things the right way that you're feeling, or you write something in a way and you think, I'm going to leave that for a moment, see if there's more I need to add to it. Or you set up this whole swipe series for Instagram and you want all the graphics to be right. So all these things take time. And what happens is you start creating all this social media and then you realize how much time it's actually taking. And if you are even a creative person and the stuff comes pretty easily and you can do things pretty quickly, you can get burnt out. I can't tell you how many times where I've been in full creative mode and created video after video, post after post, and scheduled it and had it all set up so it was being posted on 4 different platforms at different times throughout the day, along with different posts I was doing and different stories I was doing and emails and all these different type of things. But it's tiring. It's, even if it's something that you're passionate about, even if it's something that you know a lot about, it does take up a lot of your time. And I found myself thinking, oh my God, okay, it's been 3 hours. I'm going to have to put something on my story. Okay, so I've done it on Instagram. I'm going to have to do it on Facebook because, on Facebook, well, you need a page because I want to say on my Facebook personal profile that, this is where I work at and this is my page. Then I'm going to link the page to my Instagram profile, but then how am I going to link something else on Instagram to my personal page? And so then I don't even want to say how many different Instagram accounts I've had for all the different businesses, but then I'd link it over here and then it's okay. So if I've done it on my story over there, now I need to do it over here. Oh, I could probably turn that into a video. Okay, I'm going to create a video. Oh, what if I made a post from that as well? Then I could put it over here and then maybe I could write it over here. I could do it as a tweet. I could fill out that story and make it a whole article on Medium, and it just becomes a full-time job. And it's not because we don't want to do it, because that stuff is still enjoyable. It's still enjoyable creating those things and sharing the things we want to share with other people. But if you're doing too much, or you think that you have to be doing it in order to succeed, it just becomes another chore. It just becomes another job that you don't want to do. So there are many times where I have gone full on with all my preparing and planning and scheduling. And then once that's all done, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. Yeah, I'm not posting anywhere today. And it will continue. It will continue this cycle. Okay, more creative. I'm going to make all these videos. I'm going to do all these posts. And now I'm not feeling it. And I know that that can be part of the creators that we are, and having our own inspiration. And depending on what school of thought you have, when you're in your pure creative state, these things just flow and they shouldn't take time and they shouldn't be difficult, but things do take time. And creativity just doesn't happen when you call it in. It can be something that just pops in when you're doing something totally unrelative. But it's the part that I found for myself that wasn't working. It's not in the creation process. It's not in the scheduling or the multiple platforms. It's in the thinking that you have to be doing this in order to be successful. And yes, there are proven strategies. There are result-based steps that show you, if you do this consistently, you can get these results. And I understand that and I see that. And being social media platforms, yes, you do need to have some presence on there where you are continually showing up in a way so that platform knows that you are someone who is using that platform. You are not just creating your own content, but you're also engaging with people. You are using the platform the way it was intended, because most of these platforms, think about it, originally they were all created to be a social hub. And yes, they've grown into such bigger housings of things that they can do for us, that they've really sort of moved beyond their original capabilities or things that they wanted to create, to just be a social hub where we could interact with other people when we weren't able to be physically present. But when it becomes something that is stressful and not fun anymore, I think you really need to look at it and see why. What is the reason? Why is that feeling like that? Is it because you have too much to do? Is it because you're not in creative flow? Is it because you are not aligning to the thing that you were speaking about or the thing that you were trying to offer? Is it because of that platform? Is it because you're on too many platforms? And I know myself, I have recently, I've been weaning myself off social media for so long, where I would just post things that I wanted to share or offers that I had, in the hope that I could get people to interact with that. But I was not doing the other side of that. I was not really interacting with posts. I wasn't interacting with people. I wasn't really talking to people on messages or liking or sharing or commenting. I was purely just using these social media platforms for a place for me to just, here's my offers, everybody come by. And then that sort of burned me out even a little bit more, because it's that frustration of creating these things and then not getting the engagement, and then thinking that, well, you were tied to the algorithm because you haven't been engaging with other people. So the algorithm is not showing your content to people. So you get tied up in that thought process of, well, I need to be doing this in order to receive this. And it's a horrible place to be. So I really weaned myself off, where it's, okay, I need to look at all of this and see, can we make any adjustments? Can we make this work for us? And so that just resulted me in just not doing anything on social media. I think I did one post in the last 2 weeks, and that was last week for the podcast. And I think I only did that on one platform. I haven't done any stories, any posts, anythings, because I don't want to. And it can be super difficult when you do get into a space where you do understand your worth, and you know that the things that you have to offer and the things that you want to say to people, or knowledge that you want to share with people, can be beneficial to someone else. But you also don't want to be tied to a social media platform and the algorithm. Well, that's what I thought anyway. That was my mindset, that I am tied to the algorithm and the algorithm can't tell me what to do. If I don't want to use social media, I don't want to use social media. So how do you market on social media if you don't want to use social media? And I know that when we are in our creative state, when we are fully tapped into our own truth, and we allow the universe to become a co-creator in the things that we want in this 3D reality, that our intuitive hits are a lot more in tune with the next steps and the things we need to do in the moment. So it doesn't become so struggly and so, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. It'll just come intuitively, like, okay, today do a post. Okay, I'll do that. And it's not, oh my God, okay, I've got to do 15 stories today, and then I'm going to do 7 posts, and then I'm going to do 4 reels, and then I'm going to scatter them across, and I'm going to put them over here. You don't need to do that. However, it's not just that. It's in conjunction with your own algorithm of how you behave and how you react to things, and what your thoughts and your beliefs and codes and cords and entangled ideas you are still holding on to regarding who you are, what you have to offer, and how you're going to market that across social media platforms. Because even though, like for me, I may be looking at the algorithm on certain social media platforms and blaming them for poor results, there also needs to be a level of accountability of me looking at my own algorithm and how I am reacting based on my interaction. So I'm literally my own social media platform. I am here trying to facilitate a place for people to interact in ways, whether they're professional or social, or in a expansive learning capacity. I'm just like a social media platform. I will go out and I will present myself in a certain way, which is just the same as you creating content. I may look like a silly reel sometimes. Sometimes I may speak something to someone which is just like a really good post that you read. Sometimes I'll share a story with someone which is the same as writing a post on social media. And I will react possibly differently to different people. And it's like if I started sharing a personal story like I would on Facebook, and someone I knew came up and responded and just say they, gave you a hug or a tap on the shoulder, which is the same as like choosing an emoji or reaction on a post. And they said something and I responded because I knew them. But then some Joe Blow comes in who's walking past, who's overheard the story and said something mean and derogatory. How do you think I would be interacting with that person? Would I be responding in the same way as I am to that person that is already commenting and giving me a hug or a pat on the shoulder because I know that person? Or am I looking at them like, who are you and why are you commenting? We're just like a social media platform and we still have our own algorithm. So the way that we are interacting with the people around us, with the people we know, with the new people we want to bring in, with new voices that we want to share our offers or our words of experience or the new learnings or new knowledge or new thoughts that we want to share with other people, we're reacting the same way as an algorithm. We are behaving in a way that we have learned based on our experience. So that's the same as a social media platform. So if we want to engage with new people and we want to be seen in front of more people, well, we kind of have to do that the same way as we would on a social media platform. We do need to engage with people. We do need to be seen on a more regular occurrence. But we can do it in a way that works for us. It's not like, oh my God, you've got to go out every single day. You've got to go out for 6 hours because then we're just doing the same thing that we were when we were looking at the social media platform. We're thinking there are certain rules to it. It's not. It's more about understanding who we are and what works for us and using those tools and that knowledge to allow us then to be seen and to be out there engaging with the right people, whether that's going to certain places that you enjoy and interacting with new people or finding new groups or finding new friends and sharing the things that you have to offer and sharing the knowledge that you want to share with them, making new friends that you may not have been friends with because now you have a new interest or you have something new that you've learned about and you want to learn more. So you go and find out more about that new thing. It's the same thing. We just need to interact. The only difference is now we've just changed our mindset. Instead of looking at it as, the algorithm, I've got to do this thing to get this thing. It's more of I'm expanding my circle, I'm expanding my knowledge, I'm expanding my awareness, I'm sharing myself with others because ultimately that's what we want. So why would we hide from that if that's what we want? If we have knowledge we want to share or services or products that we want to offer to people, we want people to engage with us. We want people to buy these things. We want people to come see us and talk to us. So we need to do that first. We need to let go of the expectations, remove any of the blocks that we have with our thoughts in thinking that it's because of one thing we have to do something else, and look at it more of this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to be, this is what I'm going to do, and just allow ourselves to still just be the most authentic version of ourselves that we can be by allowing whatever this new information is, this new offer, not always new, it could be old, or service or product, whatever it is, to be seen by allowing yourself to be seen just as much as what this thing is that you are offering. So there is no difference between a social media algorithm and your own algorithm. The only difference is our perception of what it is. And we can change that. It's literally just a thought. And once we let go of any of those perceptions that we are holding on to around it, everything else is just going to become so much more easier. So go out and see how you can create your own new algorithm. Who knows? Might just bring us some new friends. And that's it for another epic dose of Disruptors Illuminate Your Frequency podcast.